Hey guys, and welcome to my user review and opinion of the Sea to Summit Spark 2 sleeping bag. Now I know some of you like the more short reviews, just to the point, the basic details of the bag and the opinion of the user, their kind of review, and some of you like a more detailed, longer review. So the first couple minutes of this review will just be the short and sweet fact and my thoughts on the bag, but stick around a little bit longer for the more detailed review, including me getting in and out of the bag and hearing my more detailed thoughts of the actual bag. So anyway, let's get started. Now, first and foremost, the bag weight. This is definitely catered towards the ultralight hikers out there. The claimed weight is 464 grams. Mine came in at 542 grams when I weighed it on the scale. About 39 of those being the stuff sack. So definitely a little bit heavier than what they claim. I did buy the regular size, which fits a 183 centimeter tall person. I myself, I'm about 180, 182, so it fits me just right. But they do make a long version which fits a 192 centimeter person. It's not so much wider, it's just longer. The bag itself is made from 850 goose down, so pretty good loft there, definitely a little bit more premium. The materials used on the shell range from 10 to 15D nylon fabric, so reasonably tough. Again, it is ultralight, so it's not going to be a super hard durability shell. The bag itself is rated for 7 degrees Celsius for your comfort, 2 degrees Celsius when you're kind of stretching it, and your absolute survival is minus 12 degrees Celsius. So things I like about this bag, it packs down really small, down to about a 1 litre Nalgene bottle. It also is very light, so that is quite handy, definitely what I was going for. It's good at what it does or what it's designed to do. If you're hanging around that 7 degrees temp range, maybe 7 to 10, it's spot on. It is definitely quite comfortable in that temperature range. But if you go lower or if you go higher, it's not as flexible. Because the zipper only opens up halfway, it's more difficult to regulate the sleeping bag in that regard. Likewise, because of the design of the baffles and how the hood closing system isn't very it's not very strong. It loosens up quite easily, as you see if you watch the extended version. It becomes quite difficult to stay warm in the bag when the temperatures start to dip. You tend to lose a lot of the built up heat. So in conclusion, this bag really is not for me. I will be selling this sleeping bag. I originally wanted a bag which would be a little bit more flexible and handle the higher and lower temp range a little bit better, which this bag really doesn't do. It's also a little bit too narrow for me. I do move around a fair bit, and just by itself, that's not too big of an issue. I don't mind being enclosed a little bit tighter, but because of the way the baffles are designed and again, the hood system, it does create a fair few problems. So that's pretty much it for the short version of the review. Stick around now for the longer version and kind of see what the bag looks like and how it works. So as you heard in my little summary at the beginning, I'm not the world's biggest fan of this bag. It's a little bit too small for me. I'm just under 6 foot tall and weigh about 84 or 5 kilograms. If my shoulders aren't too broad, but definitely if you have bigger, broader shoulders, you're really going to struggle with this bag. Doing the little things like trying to reach the zipper and manipulate the zipper while you're inside the bag, and also trying to cinch the hood down to make sure that you don't have any cold spots or there's no heat escaping from the bag. The bag itself, for comfort, again, is rated down to 7 degrees. I would say that's pretty accurate without needing too much other insulation, but everything does need to be closed up. As soon as you have the zipper slightly undone or the hood loose or something like that, the heat's going to escape and you're going to feel the difference. But that is largely subjective. Some people sleep colder, some people sleep warmer. Definitely anywhere below kind of 5 degrees, I've needed a down jacket. I've started to need thermals and things like that to help that warmth, and it becomes really much more evident how annoying the cord system here is. It just doesn't hold it tight enough. So I've cinched it right down. Let me just do the zipper up. Okay, and really it just takes 2 fingers, not pulling too tightly, to start to open it back up. Now, when you're a side sleeper like me, or you tend to move around a little bit, when you're in a really, really tight bag, as soon as you do that with a really loose kind of cord lock, it starts to open up. And you wake up, a couple of minutes later quite cold because all that heat has escaped because you've opened it up by moving around in it, by being so tight. Now, for me, that's a problem. For some people that, sleep on their back, they don't move around too much, or those that this bag is a little bit more roomier for, so if you're a little bit smaller, that might not be a problem, but for me personally, I found that to be a bit of a problem. The materials of the bag are quite good, I haven't had any issues with that. Again though, if you do move around, because this is an ultralight bag, they did go quite low on the down, and you can see when I pop the camera inside the bag, you can see all the light spots where the light's coming through and there's not too much down. Now, if you are laying perfectly still and you're not moving around too much, it's okay, but as soon as you start to move around and move the down around, you can start to feel those cold spots create and shift and move. And again, you get quite cold quite quickly. The baffling itself comes in together like that, so hence, it's quite skinny where it's sewn, hence the down can't really go over it. Higher quality bags, they kind of have more overlapping or thicker baffles at the seams here, so the down kind of covers that area a little bit better. But I mean, that's the price you pay for an ultralight bag. And again, this really isn't rated down to very cold temperatures. It's about 7 degrees. And I'm quite a warm sleeper, and I was hoping I'd be able to take this bag down to about 0 degrees quite comfortably. I did take it down to about 1 or 2 degrees, but again, I had to wear my down jacket, I had to wear thermals, etc. And even then, as soon as I started to move, even though it wasn't a very cold night, it wasn't a very comfortable night. So for me, this bag is good, but it's not amazing when it comes to kind of taking it down to the lower degrees with other stuff, other insulation, etc. on, because the cold spots just get created quite quickly with it. Anyway, let me kind of open it up, show you what it's like to get into it, how it kind of fits someone like me, and go from there. So the zipper itself is pretty good quality. It doesn't really tend to snag when you're opening it up from the outside. It gets a little bit tricky when you're inside the bag, which I'll show you shortly. There is a draft tube here on the other side of the zipper, which is always nice to have in a bag, shows the quality, and again, it helps prevent those cold spots from the zipper, so that's quite nice. The bag obviously opens up only halfway, which is a little bit tricky to get into, but it's not too bad, so just simply slide in. What does become an issue is if you have something like a silk liner, which I use. So trying to get in the silk liner, trying to get into that, pull the silk liner up, wiggle into the bag, it starts to become a bit of a mission to get in there. And I've been using the silk liner to buy an extra couple of degrees with this bag. So again, it starts to get a little bit tough. So popping in there, right down. This is the regular size, so I am just under 6 foot, so it fits me perfectly. This is, pretty much almost just like a stack for me. It's so tight, or so well fitting, but I found out that because I do move around so much, this cord here just doesn't stay cinched down, and it's been a bit of a letdown. So this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, trying to operate the zipper with one hand, trying to keep your shoulders on the inside. So because of this large gap here when I'm closing the bag, because everything is so tight, like I have to bring the material over and then trying to pull the zipper closed, it doesn't really work so well. So I have to try and hold the material here on the inside, get my elbow in and up, hold my hood, and then trying to get that last little bit
there, and then I have to shuffle over and pull the cord, and then from here I pull the cord tight, cinch it down, and I'm inside. I pretty much I can just put my arms down to the side, so as you might be able to see here, but that's pretty much it. So to get my arms up, I have to run them right alongside, tight inside my body, and from here I can reach back. Now again, it doesn't take too much to open that cord up, so if I start to just move around and maybe want to have my hands a little bit closer to my head, already I've started to open up a bit of a gap and that heat's going to start escaping. So it becomes a little bit of a pain. If this was a little bit tighter, able to hold that compression down, it'd be a much, much warmer sleeping bag, much more consistently warm, in my opinion. Okay, getting out of the bag, loosen everything up, and again from here, you really just have to manage the zipper with little T-Rex arms. Get one out, pull it across. And there we go. As you can see, again, the zipper's pretty good quality. It doesn't really catch on anything. And there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, it's not a bad bag. It's just not really the kind of bag for me. I'm actually moving on and trying out a quilt from Enlighten Equipment, so that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks as part of kind of my upgrades, and I'll be selling this bag. Definitely a good bag if you stay within the temp range, and I think it's quite a good bag for those kind of in and out. So if you're going just for one night, you know, you're in that temp range where it's, you know, about 6 to 8 to 9 degrees overnight. You want to go ultra light, you're not a big person, this bag is perfect. It's like kind of the scalpel of bags. It's really, really precise, but it doesn't really give much wiggle room, like literally you don't have too much room inside it. And temp wise, like you're going to get quite hot in it quite quickly, and it's a little bit harder to regulate that heat. Also, you're going to get quite cold in it quite quickly if you take it too low. And because of the gaps in with the baffles here in between, and because of the hood not cinching down too tight, you tend to lose that heat quite quickly just by moving around. So it becomes quite difficult at lower temperatures. As always guys, thanks for watching. If you don't have any questions, if I forgot something, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. If you did find the review useful, the thumbs up is greatly appreciated. And as always, happy hiking. See you in the next video.